Let's have 3 cheers for the World Series winners.
Boy, and we welcomed home our champions today, and what a great feeling for these kids to do that. Just what an incredible accomplishment.
The best.
The best, and to put it all together like that, as Jensen Beach Post 126 rode 19 straight wins to the American Legion National World Series Championship. The team returned home from South Dakota today. We were on hand to greet him at the airport. Now, Joe Gray struck out 13 in yesterday's game. He was the MVP of the tourney. He won the Mob Feller Award for Outstanding Pitcher, and here's what he said today.
Something I really didn't expect, but you have to say it's a team effort, because every night there was a different guy that did the job. When one person couldn't do it, and the next guy did, and that's how you win ball games that way.
It's just one of the biggest thrills of my life, and I suppose you get a little more emotionally involved because they're young men, and you know, I realized that they had to make a decision, and they made up their mind that they wanted to do this, and they became world champions. They got that beautiful beach out over there, and they worked very, very hard. Most of our days were 4-hour workouts, and the great thing about it is most all of them have gotten full rides to colleges. 2 were drafted, you know, and other professional teams are looking at them. But they just went both in the state, regional, and World Series and absolutely dominated the other teams. They looked great defensively. The pitching was exceptional, and the hitting, we probably were averaging 7 runs or 8 runs a game, and the other team was probably getting under 2 runs a game.
All right, so once again, congratulations to Post 126, and we'll have more tonight at 11. Good news for the Miami Dolphins today as holdout defensive end Doug Betters reached agreement with
the defense for Las Vegas. At first base, Gary Corbin. At second base, Dave Carew. At shortstop, Steve Rodriguez. Summary for Jensen Beach. The catcher number 20.
He had 3 shots. Okay, you can't hardly lose. I got one from just about everything.
Next batter, third baseman. One run on 2 hits. There were no errors. $60 50-50 was John Anderson of Custer.
Well, he needs 6 or 7.
Joe Gray.
Well, you said he came up here to see you.
No, I got one.
Got one?
God damn. I didn't get a chance to catch it. Hey, gentlemen, I didn't get a chance to catch it.
4 Las Vegas, 2 runs on 9 hits. He committed 2 errors, 4 incompletes, and he committed wire. We would like to thank Las Vegas for their fine baseball during this tournament.
Hey. Looking back at this tournament, could you guys, you think, have played much better than you did down here?
You know, we played in the state tournament, did a great job. We won 4 in a row. We won 5 in a row in the regionals, and our coaches and I, we talked to the parents. We said, what more could a coach ask for? There's nothing that you could ask more. The only thing that I could say is maybe our base running left a little bit to be desired, and that goes all the way from the state, regional, to here. But other than that, my goodness, the pitchers did a great job. I don't know what they've given up, but they haven't given up very many runs. And the hitters have hit, and the defense has done a great job. So, you know, it kind of makes the job kind of easy for me.
No, I talked to you before the tournament. You said this is going to be a lot of fun for you guys if you won, was it?
Absolutely, a joy, a thrill. I've been in the game 35 years, and this is just fantastic.
Thanks a lot. Congratulations.
Remember, they're second in a group of some 3,800 teams. Next, a championship plaque presented by Kermit Corbin.
Good indicator. How was attendance out there?
Well, very good today, Dave. So far, the morning and afternoon session, 1,574 people showed up. The parking lot right now is pretty well packed. There's many people here again for the evening session, so it's a pretty good indicator that there's a lot of people that plan on attending this thing throughout the weekend. And of course, that Labor Day Championship should be a very, very crowded event. Some of the people in attendance include Major League Scouts, and virtually every Major League Baseball team is represented, and major colleges. They have radar guns set up, and they're taking all kinds of notes, looking for just the right talent.
What are you looking for when you're scouting World Series like this?
Well, what the natural tools would be, if they can run and throw and swing the bat, if they have any bat speed and some power.
And at 10 o'clock, we'll talk to one of the players about the kind of pressure caused when the Scouts come to the ballpark. With me now is Tom Rudebush, and Tom, you've been very involved in this whole planning process. How are things going so far on this first day?
Well, I don't think you could ask for anything better, Steve. The weather's been good. We've had a good crowd. The 1,500 crowd for a morning session with a lot of people at work was excellent, and we're looking for big things the rest of the weekend if the weather holds out.
Tom, one thing we noticed, we were talking about scouts earlier, is that there were a great deal of scouts for that first game and virtually none for the second game. Why is that?
Well, sometimes there's a particular ball player the scouts may want to look at, in particular here a pitcher that was throwing, and most of the scouts were here to look at him specifically. Later, they'll come back and look at the other teams, so most of the scouts will probably be out of here by Saturday.
Okay, well, thank you, Tom Rudebush. I know you've had a long day. Thanks for joining us. We'll send it back to you, Dave.
Steve, did you get a chance to talk to any of those scouts as to whether they saw any potential major leaguers out there?
Yes, that pitcher that Tom mentioned from Florida was very impressive. He was throwing a ball about 83 to 88 miles per hour, and the guy from the Mets said that he was just there to watch him, but the Milwaukee Brewers have already drafted, and they have the draft rights to him. They're here to sign him. The Milwaukee guy wouldn't really make much of a comment, except the fact that he was here under some close competition. The competition not being another major league team, but the Miami of Florida College, I believe. So there's some competition there between those, and that was the player that they were really looking at this morning. I understand there's another player tonight they'll be looking at from Cedar Rapids, Iowa. Dave?
All right, thank you very much, Steve. You can tell Tom Ruderbush, by the way, he was hoping that the weather holds up. It'll be hot again, around 90 tomorrow, Dick Horky says. So.
There's a good attendance out there today, as we were talking with Dave was talking with Steve Boyd about that earlier.
Some good ball games too.
Yeah.
As a matter of fact, this the kid that Ray's going to interview had a shot at a strikeout record, and I think he got 18 strikeouts. The record's 19. His coach didn't know it, and he took him out of the ball game.
Oh no,
that's too bad.
Wake up, coach.
Good games though. American Legion World Series got underway today here in Rapid City. Standing by live out at Fitzgerald Stadium is Ray Lyons. Ray.
Thanks, Bruce. Las Vegas, Nevada, they're taking on Boyertown, Pennsylvania right now, and in the third inning, Vegas is out to a 6-0 lead. They just picked up a home run. But earlier today, it was Jensen Beach, Florida, taking on New London, Connecticut, and there was a pretty good crowd on hand at Fitzgerald Stadium. We pick up the highlights right now. There it is. Jensen Beach trailed 1-0 early, but then they came back. Chris Hirsch, he doubles right here off the wall in right field right there. Then his teammate, Joe Russo, he comes up to the plate and brings in Hirsch to make it 3-1 for Florida in the third inning. Later on, Hirsch again at the plate, and again he doubles. This time he makes it 7-1 for Jensen Beach. They go on to win at 9-2. Pitcher Joe Great got 18 strikeouts, one short of the series record. He talked about it after the game today.
I've been quite worried about it before the game because my arm hadn't been feeling that well. But I guess once I got out there and saw the fans and everything around me, it got the adrenaline flowing and everything seemed to fall into place.
And in the second game, the first session, it was Lake Charles, Louisiana versus El Segundo, California. It looked like a battle early with 3 lead changes in as many innings. This potential El Segundo run was cut down in the run down there at home plate. In the bottom of the third we go to now, Louisiana's Kevin Daigle. He hits a towering shot over left field. He gets all of that ball to bring Lake Charles within 2 of California at 6-4. California, though, they padded their lead to 11-4. Then in the 7th, Louisiana saves a run by nailing this runner coming into home plate to score. El Segundo wins it 16-5 today, and as we said, Las Vegas right now, they lead Boyertown, Pennsylvania 6-0 in the third inning, and later tonight, Cedar Rapids, they will take on Maynard, Ohio. We'll have all the results and the highlights at 10. Back to you, Bruce.
And thanks, Ray. Former basketball.
The first full day of action at the American Legion World Series winding down at this hour. Newsline Steve Boyd now at the ballpark, and Steve, it looks like a really great night for baseball.
Well, it has been, Bill, a great day weather-wise, but it's just starting to get a little bit chilly right now. Temperature's been dropping in the last half hour. Threw a jacket on because of it, because there is a little bit of a breeze, so it's been crisp out here. But I'll tell you, the weather has not been the only thing on the minds of the people here in the stands. Many of those people are professional and college scouts, and a certain few players were the main topic of conversation in that group.
The notebooks, the intense scrutiny, and the electronics, all tools of the trade for scouts.
Every major league club is represented here. I would say there's probably about 25 or 26. I think they're all here.
And there are more than the majors here, many colleges and junior colleges as well. Pitcher Jeff Gray of the Florida team was on the minds of scouts this morning. Throwing 88-mile-an-hour fastballs, 2 scouts are here to entice him. The Milwaukee Brewers, who declined comment, and the University of Miami.
He's an outstanding young man. He's a good student, and hopefully he'll forego that professional opportunity for a couple years. But if the money's there, then a young man has to consider it, I guess.
Being scouted for Major League Baseball is a boyhood dream, but that can also create some pressure.
Well, it kind of gets me going a little more than usual because when I see the guns come out and I see people looking at them, I try to do as best I can. It just gives that little extra incentive.
Jeff will need to decide very soon what he'll be doing. The Brewers hope to sign him today, and the University of Miami wants to see him in school next week.
We should mention that Jeff Gray was just one heck of a kid. We had a chance. Ray Lyons and I talked to him earlier today. He really seems to have the right attitude, and it'll be interesting to see 4 or 5 years from now if he's one of those big names in the pros. We'll send it back to you in the studio, Bill.
Well, Steve, I know earlier today they had about 1,500 people out there for the morning session. What was the attendance there like tonight?
1,835 for the evening session. Quite a crowd, and a very boisterous crowd as well. They're starting to thin out now about midway through the second game. The official statistics from this afternoon and this morning session, 1,574. So some very good statistics crowd-wise for this American Legion World Series for this first day. And of course we hope and believe that this is obviously going to grow as we near the championship game. Bill?
All right, and that's good to hear, and I'm sure the attendance is going to get better as the tournament progresses. Lots of runs scored the first day. I think we were counting up, and there was, what, more than 50 runs scored in the first day at the tournament?
Yeah, that is incredible. Yeah, it's good. It's a good tournament for the
Probably
fans.
added to the crowds tonight.
Oh, I'm sure. And there are some good crowds, too, let me
Yes.
tell you. American Legion World Series just finishing up the first round out at Fitzgerald Stadium. Standing by live right now with scores and highlights is Ray Lyons. Ray?
Well, thanks, Bruce. Right now, Cedar Rapids is playing Maynard, Ohio. That game is in the 5th inning, and Maynard, Ohio, they have a commanding 10-1 lead. But earlier tonight, in the first game of the evening session, it was Las Vegas playing Boyertown, Pennsylvania. Let's go to the highlights of that one and see how that game turned out. Las Vegas took no time. They came out swinging. Tom Griffith hits one to the wall in left. Watch it bounce off right there with 2 men on. Both scored, giving Vegas a 2-0 lead early in that first inning. Gary Cousins, then he brings in Griffith with this triple down the right field side there. It gets by the right fielder, and he ends up at third. Vegas goes on top 3-0. Jim Gasklow, he brought in another Vegas run with fielder's choice right there. It was 4-0 Vegas. One bright spot for Boyertown tonight. Jeff Seymour, watch this catch in right field. He comes up with the catch, but Vegas won it 11-4. In the second game, it was Maynard, Ohio, as we said, in Cedar Rapids playing. Maynard wasted no time with 1 man on. Mitch Hannes rips one in the gap for a triple, and they lead it 1-0 early. He ends up at first base as the runs comes in to score, and they lead 1-0. Ohio got another run off Brian Cunningham's sacrifice fly to score Hanna. That made it 2-0 for Maynard. Cedar Rapids picked up a run in the first, but Maynard added 4 in the second. One off a bases-loaded tapper by Hanna back to third base. Third baseman couldn't quite come up with the play right there. That allowed a score to run, and then they got 2 more off Chris Starr. He singles with bases loaded. That made it 5-1. Maynard leads it right now 10-1. Let's take a look at some of the other scores from today. Jensen Beach, Florida. They win the opener today 9-2 over New London, Connecticut. Second game was El Segundo, California, 16. Lake Charles, Louisiana, 16-5. El Segundo, the winner there. Las Vegas, they top Boyertown, Pennsylvania, 11-4. And as we said, Maynard, Ohio, they lead in the 5th inning over Cedar Rapids, 10-1. Tomorrow, the elimination round continues. That'll be in the morning, and then with the winners playing in the evening session. Back to you, Bruce.
Well, the Texas Rangers were trying to pick up some ground on the